Lights out and let's go racing, folks, and it's a very even start from the entire field.
There's a freight train forming behind him right now. He will be as nervous as a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I can give you the hot tip. Sideways as a bishop on a chessboard. That was incredible car control.
Going for a bit of an ambitious dive now, and oh, there's contact! Here they come now, around the final turn on the final lap. They're side by side.
Oh, and there's contact now. Someone is going to be hitting the showers early tonight, I'll tell you what.
Crosses the line for P1. Brilliant racing, absolutely sensational stuff.
This is heart-pounding. This is nerves-rising. This is sensational TV.
Oh, yes. Well, hello and welcome once again to the great Australian tradition of watching other people do something extremely difficult from the safety of a nice, comfortable chair and having very strong opinions about it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final round of the DSTW Dirt Racing League, which means the maths has been done. The excuses have been pre-written. The nerves are jangling like a loose mudguard on lap 2, ladies and gentlemen. We have just finished up qualifying as well. We've got the standings in. We'll have a quick look at those while they line up for the first of the heats. Braden Watson is in front of the championship with a commanding lead over Dalton Lane. Robert Rainey sits in third position. Blake Daniels after him. Rhino, then Dalton, Worley, Watson, Keane, Hines, Gum, Bland, Wagner, Mars, Mason Rainey, Bennett, Bell, Moore, Nicholas, Johnny Boom Boom Brown, Tyler Nicely, and Austin Cochran round out the top 22 here. And we got the first of the heats up in just a moment. Good to have everyone on board for this final round here at Eldora Speedway. We are in the UMP Modifieds. And just watching these guys go around in practice just before, it seems they are on the slide for 99% of this lap. So it's a really wide angled turns here at Eldora Speedway. And they don't really straighten up. By the time they get to, I guess, midway point down the straight, it's time to start turning in again. So we're going to see, might see some action here tonight. It's going to be really hard for the drivers to judge where to take that turn in. But we got 10 laps to go here. First of the heats tonight. Trent Dalton, Blake Daniels off the front row. Regan Gum, Braden Watson next to those guys, and Rhino and Keane at the back. Certainly some capable drivers in this heat, so it's going to be cutthroat here, ladies and gentlemen, once we get that green light action. Zach O'Reilly in the chat says, "G'day viewers, just in time for some green light action. Trent Dalton out to an early lead, but Blake Daniels slings it up the inside there at turns 1 and 2. Look at Braden Watson though, up the inside, takes the early lead again. Here comes Regan Gum having a go at number 2 there as well. That's Trent Dalton just falling back through the field. Started at the front and sitting P4 now. He's going to attack down the inside, almost makes contact with the inside fence there. Slides back into the lap of Regan Gum. He goes sliding around that top to mid-line there as well. Around the very top, it's Blake Daniels, though, looking for that outside cushion and has the momentum here as well. He might just be able to solidify that P2 position as he does. Slides back down to that bottom line that seems to be the go because Watson has been using that and he has eked himself out about a half a second lead over Blake Daniels in the 5. Regan Gum sitting there in third position, doing a great job. Chase Reinerson managing to get through, but in fourth position now. The field starts to spread out just a little bit. Trent Dalton goes from first to last. That's 0 to 0, ladies and gentlemen. But at the front, it's Braden Watson with 7 laps to go here at Eldora. It's about a 17-second lap here as well, so pretty quick fire in terms of that kind of thing. But Watson, I'll tell you what, he's come to play tonight. Look at him go. He's already a second in front of Blake Daniels, who just is going to have to settle for P2 or beyond here at the moment. Regan Gum in third. This is where the action is here, ladies and gentlemen. Regan looking up the inside there, as you can see on your screen, sliding it nicely, but he's about a car length behind Blake Daniels here at the moment. But with Daniels on that high line, you can see the momentum he gets out of the turns. He's travelling a lot quicker, ladies and gentlemen, but he's going around the long way, so choosing to go for that high line today here at Eldora. And by all historical takes, it's the best way to go around this circuit. But as you can see, Braden Watson now just heading his way up to the top cushion there as well. So perhaps that low line just being worn out very quickly here in the early stages of this heat. But with 3 laps to go, Watson still controls the pace with Daniel sitting there in second position. He's dropped Regan Gum now as well by a fair margin to a big mistake there from Gum. Slops him back into third position. Rhino Reinerson, not as quick as we've seen him in previous rounds, but it's still plenty of racing to come. Brian Keane at the very back. He's back again, ladies and gentlemen. He was the moving chicane last week, and I think there was calls from the commentary team to get him off the bloody field. Anyway, up the front, final lap to go. White flag is waving. Braden Watson around turns 1 and 2, now into 3 and 4, and that will be the checkered flag, ladies and gentlemen. Watson takes the win here in the first of the heats. Blake Daniels closed in on that the last couple of laps as well, just finding his rhythm in P2. Regan Gum crossing the line P3, Reinerson 4th, Keane 5th, and Trent Dalton 6th. That was quick fire, ladies and gentlemen. Bradley Cairns in the chat as well. It's become his Monday ritual. Well, mate, you're going to have to make the most of it, because this is the final round of this series, and I'm not too sure if we're going again. If we are, we'll have to wait for confirmation of that. But there will be no racing next week, as far as I know. So savour it all in. Suck it into your eyeballs there at home or at work or wherever you're hiding the tablet. On the second screen at the LJOB. Send the link to your boss so he can get involved as well. So, yeah, mate, look, we can enjoy this together. A bit of boss-employee bonding time. Anyway, into the second of the heats now. We got Mason Watson off the front row in the 42. Jacob Bland is going to line up beside him. And we got Slambo Mars in the 28 with Lucas Hines in the 17. Andrew Wagner in the 7 car and Robert Daddy Rainey in the 12. This is the second of the heats, folks. I'm not too sure how many cars we've got out there tonight. There might be a smaller field, just by the looks of how many was in practice. But we might get a third heat, we might not. We'll see how we go for the rest of the evening. 40 laps in the feature race coming up after these heats, folks. That'll keep anyone on their toes here in the dirt racing world. Oh, well, they've gone early. The pace car wasn't quite off the circuit, but Mason Watson just catches the ball with the pants down a little bit. But back here, it's Slambo Mars up the inside. Lucas Hines in the middle. And who's that around the top of the track? Jacob Bland looking to take that high line. Most of them going the low line there as well. Slambo looking the best of them at the moment, getting a really nice exit there out of 3 and 4. Here they go into 1 and 2, and now it's time for Sam Mars just to take over that P1 position. Mason Watson just not quite comfortable there at the moment, trying to find his rhythm as they all try to get as close as they can to the very bottom of this circuit. Doing a great job of it so far to keep out of each other. Jacob Bland down there on the bottom as well, with Robert Rainey there not too far away, but he's riding that high line. He's looking for the cushion that Blake Daniels was on last race, and doing a good job of it. But I tell you what, these guys that are stuck to the low line here, Sam Mars right out in front and looking good, controlling the pace of the field. Here we go, ladies and gents, 7 laps to go. Back here, Mason Watson looking good in second position. But I'll tell you what, Jacob Bland giving him something to think about right up there on the top. You can see him just bouncing off the outside wall there just a little bit. So he's got to keep that under control, otherwise the damage will pile up. Here he comes now. He's got a pretty good run on Watson. Watson holding him at bay as he disappears out of existence, and Lucas Hines chiming in on the back of these two as well. Robert Rainey tried his hand at the top, but I tell you what, he's just starting to fall back as well. It seems to be that low to middle line that seems to be working so good for these drivers here at the moment. Sam Mars still out in front, 5 laps to go. Mason Watson not far behind. Jacob Bland though right up beside him here at the moment. He's going to make it maybe too wide here into 1 and 2. It's not going to happen for him. He goes right out to the top, and I think that might be all that she wrote with that little bit of a battle there happening. And now it's Lucas Hines' turn, who just is sticking to that inside line here at Eldora. Usually they don't do that here at Eldora Speedway, ladies and gentlemen. The low line not proving to be the business, but today it seems to be the go. They've watered the track in the right spots, and I tell you what, the low line is kicking off here at the moment. Poor old Daddy sitting 3rd in the championship as well, mind you, sitting 5th in this heat race. But looks like Bland is now just pulled up alongside. They go side by side here through 1 and 2 for the 8th time. 2 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mason Watson down low, Lucas Hines following him through on that same line, and Jacob Bland side by side on the top of the track now. White flag has been called. Sam Mars out in front, 1 lap to go. Here comes Lucas Hines up the inside, looking very dangerous here at the moment as well. Jacob Bland, this is going to be an absolute photo finish for P2 here at the moment. It's going to be Sam Mars that crosses the line first, but we're going to keep our eye on this little battle here as well, because it's going to be Jacob Bland that gets P2 out of nowhere. Beautiful driving for him. Lucas Hines in 3rd, and Mason Watson sitting in P2 for most of that race. Ends up in P4 off the final turn. Robert Rainey P5, Andrew Wagner P6. And that is it, folks. That was the 2 heats of the night, and we're going straight into the main event. So that gives us a little breathing space here after those two action-packed heats. We're going to take a quick break from our sponsors while these guys warm up for the feature race.
Motto is that safe drivers are lifesavers. If your organisation shares this belief and are planning to improve driver education in your community, SDT Simulator Driver Training has the solution. Many of our simulator users are also gaining a revenue stream by taking their simulators to events and schools for driver education programs. The system can also be set up to run motorsport simulation. Many leading racing drivers are now using simulators to improve their skills. Such software can also be used to show drivers they are not as skilled as they think they are. SDT Simulator Driver Training is a division of Safe Drive Training, one of Asia Pacific's leading driver training providers. We offer affordable driving simulators that are assembled in our Brisbane head office. SDT simulators are now in use across Australia and are expanding into international markets due to their affordable price, unique features, and customization for driver training. Depending on the simulator model being purchased, you will receive a range of training resources to help you to facilitate quality driver education. SDT is the exclusive distributor of Fatal Vision alcohol impairment goggles, marijuana simulation goggles, and drowsy and distracted blinking goggles. All are used to demonstrate the dangers of such impairments on the driver. Also available are driver training posters, driving handbooks, and distracted driving resources. Our simulators make the perfect training tool for drivers to experience how various impairments affect their performance. Contact Simulator Driver Training for more information.
We're back on circuit now for the main event. In the UMPs, the last time we go around, Watson off the front row, Sam Mars, Lambo up beside him. Blake Daniels, Jacob Bland in the second row. Regan Gum and Lucas Hines line up behind those two guys with Rhino Reinison, Mason Watson behind them off the fourth. Then Keane and Rainey behind them. Trent Dalton, Andrew Wagner off the sixth row. Then we've got, that's it, ladies and gentlemen, 12 entries here tonight. And that's it. So we're going to be underway soon. And with the smaller field tonight, one might expect that we get a few less of those yellow cautions. But you never know. Ladies and gentlemen, you never know. It might just be with the smaller field out here, the guys are a little bit more towy, a little bit more keen to make up some last-minute positions in the championship. Quite a few names missing today, and look, they're already into each other here on the formation lap, so it's not boding well for a caution-free evening. But Eldora, there's enough space out there. It's fairly wide. You can fit 3 cars across the track, no worries around here. And these guys have got plenty of skill up their sleeves anyway to be able to navigate this course. Predictions in the chat if you're watching at home from Facebook, YouTube or Twitch. We are green light racing now in the feature race, the last time in the UMP series here, and Watson gets the early lead. Blake Daniels sits behind him. I tell you what, Jacob Bland looking pretty good tonight, but just falling into the clutches there. Slambo around the outside, Regan Gum on the low line there in the 13, and those guys really tight here at the moment, almost 4 wide at the moment as well. Regan Gum just having to get out of it there a little bit, and that's left him vulnerable to the Rhino, who's just pushed his way up the inside here using that low line that we saw in the heats be so aggressive and so effective here in this circuit tonight. Sam Mars sitting in P2, but is just up on that top line, can't find his way down to the bottom here at the moment because he's got Bland, he's got Daniels as well occupying that space on that inside run. So it's right here, it's Daniels and Bland side by side here at the moment. Exciting stuff, and Daniels just having a little bit of a nightmare out of that one, so he's going to drop back down the pack with Chase Reinison, Regan Gum up in his inside there. There's a car in the background looking like it's having a few issues there on the top line, just bouncing off the outside wall like a pinball machine here at the moment. But with 5 laps under the belt, 35 to go, and it's Braden Watson out to a commanding lead here at the moment. Sam Mars is just trying to get down to that low line. He does now finally, after Hines, Bland and Daniels and co are just occupying that space from the inside. But back here it's absolutely kicking off. Lucas Hines has got to third outright, and they've all started to just to move up the track just a little bit, making contact with the outside wall there. Goes Lucas Hines, sorry. Jacob Bland now looking for that inside run. He's going to send it up the inside here, looking pretty pacey indeed in the 14 car, and that middle line seems to be the place to go. He's just fallen into the lap there. Lucas Hines looking for the switchback here with 33 laps to go. Tell you what, it's all happening. Here's Chase Reinison as well, right up behind the back of these two guys. Nowhere to go through as well because they're just side by side this entire race so far. Really great action. Here he goes, Jacob Bland around the outside. Daniels just has to get out of the throttle there because there's nowhere for him to go. Chase Reinison following him around on that top line, ladies and gentlemen. This is fantastic racing. Let's look at this from the static cameras on the side of the field. Tell you what, the battle for the lead's on, folks. Let's go and have a look up the front because it's Sam Mars that has actually just poked his nose in front there of the 93 car, taking that high line where it's starting to get activated as well. It was just a matter of time before the cushion just started to come into effect, but Sam Mars just throwing it away there. It's bumping and sliding off that outside wall here at Eldora. Whoa, very close in between the two yellow cars here at the moment. Braden Watson opting for that very low line this time and just keeps it out of the wall, and they do the switcheroo and Sam Mars takes over the proceedings here at the front of the race. But it's going to be for how long, because Braden Watson, the championship leader, the fastest of the guys that we've seen in this entire series all the season long, has made his way back around the outside. He knew it wouldn't be there for too long, but Slambo and Sambo is going to send it hard. Look at this beautiful stuff. That is absolutely brilliant. We've got Zach O'Reilly in the chat that says, yep, same. Can't imagine what it looks like with the audio only as I work away from the tools. Oh, how good's that? So Zach O'Reilly there just tuning in audio only. So it's the theatre of the mind, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully portraying a nice picture of the race to him at the moment. It's Slam and Sambo looking up the inside, sliding out wide, and Watson goes the switchback manoeuvre. These guys playing a bit of leapfrog here at the moment as they do the exact same thing on the next time around. Slam and Sambo takes it a bit too wide there, and a few sparks flying off the back of that UMP as he makes contact with the wall, and he does it again. That's 2 corners in a row, and here it is finally. The voice gets erased, ladies and gentlemen. The first caution of the night has occurred. It's because Jacob Bland has put it into the wall. Let's go back and have a look at how this happened. Here he is behind Reinison at the moment. Regan Gum there as well behind him. Oh, it's Rhino just bumping along the wall, losing momentum, falling into the lap of Jacob Bland, and then he gets tangled up and heads off into the wall himself. So bad luck for Bland. He was right up there in the early stanza of this race. Got up in the top 4 and was challenging for P2 well, in the first part, really. Started to fall backwards. Once he got chased, he got chased down by Mr. Reinison. That's when he came a gutser, and now he's found himself at the very back of the field. 11 UMP fired up looking dirt vehicles in front of him. Now he's got to navigate through. We're 15 laps in, ladies and gentlemen. Almost halfway through this race. Had a fair amount of green light running. And speaking of which, we are green one more time. And here goes Watson straight to the front. Jeez, he's good at the restart, ladies and gentlemen. He's been that way throughout this entire season. Oh, look at Lucas Hines, though. Oh, this will cause the second of the pile-ups or the cautions. That was absolutely crazy stuff there. Lucas Hines from nowhere, sending it down low, very aggressive, falls out and just absolutely takes out half the field. Oh, goodness gracious me. That was a little bit uncalled for. Let's go back and have a look at that one from the air. You can see there in the 17 car just looking for that inside run. It was never going to happen for him. Slots out right in the lap of Slam and Sambo Mars, and he takes about 6 or 7 or 8 cars with him. We'll see where they jumble the field back up after this caution. Lucas Hines being sent to the back. I think the race director saw that and how that played out. So poor old 17 goes to join Brian Keane at the back. Braden Watson, Sam Mars gets his position back at the front, and fair enough. Wasn't his fault there. Jake, who's behind them there? Chase Reinison up to P4 with Blake Daniels there next to him on the inside. So a lot of the familiar quick faces, just the cream rising to the top here at Dirt Racing. How it happens. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, racing once again. Let's see if we can go a little bit further this time on the green light. It is Watson riding the cushion at the top there, keeping Sam Mars at bay, but behind them it's Reinison and Daniel side by side with Gum looking for that inside run between both of them. It's not going to happen for him this time around. Poor old Slam and Sambo is just teleporting in and out of existence there. That has got to be a bit disconcerting for the cars behind him as well, trying to avoid that car blinking in and out. That is very distracting, that's for sure. Oh, there's a bit of contact there between Reinison and Slam and Sambo. I don't know if that was because of the net code or the blinking in and out or what, but Slammin is around, and there comes the safety car out onto the circuit for the third caution of the race. Caution portion, I like that. Caution portion 3, ladies and gentlemen. And that could have been avoided. Let's go back and have a look at what happened there. It was definitely Chase Reinison and Slam and Sambo coming together. This is not the replay that I wanted, though. We're going to have to go down a little bit further for that one. It's Brian Keane apparently as well. Oh no, he got involved afterwards. Yeah, that's slamming. Poor old Sam Mars just having some connection issues tonight. He's going to want to get them sorted out for the rest of the race. Otherwise, it's just going to be more of that. But he gets his position back. Or does he? Where is he there? He's sitting on the front row. I don't believe he's meant to be there. He's a lap down. Are they going to let him retake that lap back? He's still blinking in and out. Very distracting for Blake Daniels, who's sitting behind him directly in the queue here at the moment. So we're going to see what happens when they go racing again. Sam Mars is a lap down, ladies and gentlemen, but he lines up off the front row. We're racing again, and here goes Braden Watson straight out to the lead. Chase Reinison looking pacey on that low line. He will slot into P2, but Slam and Zambo is in front of him. Don't you worry about that on the circuit, but he's technically a lap down, apparently, according to the timing tower. But now they're starting to jumble up as well, so very confusing for all involved. Here goes Regan Gum up the inside of Chase Reinison. Now they're side by side, almost banging doors on the entry here. Very close indeed. But it's Regan Gum who has the advantage so far. 22 laps to go as they turn around turn 4 at the moment. And it's Chase Reinison just eking out Regan Gum now. He goes up into P3. At the front, Sam Mars has taken over, but we're still not sure whether he's in the lead for sure or not. I think he is now. The timing tower has told us that he is on the lead lap. So this is a battle for the lead out the front, ladies and gentlemen. Still blinking in and out of existence. Very distracting indeed. Watson goes for the big send up through 1 and 2. It's contact with the wall for Watson, so he's going to go back to P3 now as Regan Gum takes advantage of that little mistake from Watson. At the front though, Sam Mars looking pretty good now that he's got that thing out in front. Braden Watson attacking every single time that the switchbacks on. The old leapfroggeroo is happening here at Eldora Speedway. 19 laps to go. We've just gone past half race distance. And there goes the switchback from Watson. He reclaims the lead this time. This is beautiful racing from these guys at the front. I tell you what, it is just tit for tat at the moment. Get your tits and your tats out, ladies and gentlemen, because it's all happening here. Here goes Watson through the inside again. It's Slam and Sambo just going for the attack. Move up the inside, going wide. Watson being aware of it, and switcheroo is on for sure. The sparks are flying here at Eldora as all of these guys have just let the ass hang around the outside of this circuit. Back here though, it's still kicking off as well between Rig and Gum. We've got Jacob Bland has made his way up to P4 again after starting at the very back from caution portion number 2. So great racing there from him. Regan Gum's just in front of him at the moment, maybe holding him up just a little bit. At the front though, they continue to leapfrog. Here goes Braden Watson up the inside. Slam and Sambo Mars takes that high line this time, makes contact with the wall once more time. I tell you what, these guys are hitting the wall like it owes the money here at the moment. Here goes Slambo up the inside. He's going to fling wide once he comes back into existence. Tell you what, the connection there from the 28 car, absolutely horrible. Still going at the moment. So Braden Watson's done well to avoid any sort of contact here as well, because you just got to guess where that car is on the track sometimes. Here he goes again. Switcheroo number 69 here at the moment. I tell you what, here goes Braden Watson now up the inside. Side by side, a little bit of contact on the way in. Watson says, you know what, I'm going to go and hold that inside run here because this isn't helping me at all. He said, I'm fed up with this leapfrogging situation. I'm going to just hold that inside line and see if that works out for me this time. And it does. This time he's been able to hold off Sam Mars and actually get a nice little gap, half a second indeed. So that move there from Braden Watson, really nicely done. He's thought about it, and you know, they've been playing this leapfrog game for about 10 laps now so far, and he's like, you know what, I'm going to try something different, stick to that low line, and he did, and that was enough to be able to make that gap now out to 1.4 seconds. So absolutely flying out in front is Braden Watson. Now back here, the battle for P3 is on. It is Jacob Bland. Blake Daniels getting involved. There's Regan Gum around the outside there in the 13 as well. Those guys really separated by not much here on the circuit. 10 laps to go now. Eldora in the UMPs for the final time here for DSTW Dirt Racing. And here goes Chase Reinison up the inside, but there's been a caution as well, and that just keeps playing on as well. The cars flying off all over the circuit here. Let's see what happened here. It seems like Lucas Hines was the one involved. He's Kamagutsu on his own by the looks of it, just laying there across the track sideways. Oh, and gets absolutely hammered by the 7 car Andrew Wagner. We'll see how that all kicked off actually. Here we go. Yeah, it's Lucas Hines out there at the rear of the field. And he looks like he might just loop this on his own. Oh no, it's 42. It was Mason Watson. And one of the other cars getting involved and stuck into each other, and just nowhere for the 17 to go. So he's laying on the circuit now, back in circulation. The little black rubber things pointing in the right direction as well. So that's always positive. Braden Watson sits at the front of the queue this time. Sam Mars on his outside in the 28 car. Then we've got Regan Gum and Jacob Bland off the second row. Blake Daniels, Chase Reinison off the third. Mason Watson, Trent Dalton, Keane, Rainey, Wagner and Hines. All 12 cars still in action. And we go green once more time after the fourth of the caution portions here of this section. I am trademarking that one. That's a beautiful little play on words. It's Watson. Oh, no, there's cars into the fence as well. That's Jacob Bland this time. Oh, no, they're wrecking at the back. This could be another caution here, folks. It's... no, they get through somehow. They've all managed to stay in the correct orientation, and they go racing once more. But no, it's Slam and Sambo that's around, and that is the fifth caution. Oh, I tell you what, we did so well, ladies and gentlemen, at the start of this race. We've had some really good green light portions of this one so far. At this time, I think it looks like Mars and Watson coming together. We'll see at the front. Actually, it was Chase Reinison that gives Regan Gum a massive shunt, and then that just caused a big pile-up in the rest of the field. Watson turns himself around, noses it into the inside fence. That was quite an interesting look there as well. See what happens. Poor old Mars has ended up at the back here, so that's happened under his own steam. Watson's going to line up next to Regan Gum here now for the next restart. Or is he? Sam Mars has just decided he's going back to the front of the field, so who knows what's going on here. Mars is just doing what he wants, I think. He's still listed as P12 here currently, but he's gone up and sitting on the outside of Braden Watson here for this next restart. Blake Daniels possibly supposed to be in P2. We'll see when they start racing again. We'll get an update here on the old timing tower. SDK doing us a good job tonight. Hands off to those guys. Pace truck going around one more time by the looks. And then we're going to get some racing on. No, pulls in and we're off again for the sixth time. And it's Watson out to the lead. It is Sam Mars who now, I guess, goes into P2 with the connection issues. That's probably why we're having a bit of an issue with the old timing tower indeed. Here comes Regan Gum up the inside, looking nice and trying to follow Sam Mars through. On that one, Sam just going a bit too wide, making contact there with Regan. Blake Daniels as well getting chimed into. Nowhere for him to go. Jacob Bland looking around the inside there as well. Contact between Daniels and Regan now. Oh no, there goes Trent Dalton getting involved, and I think that could be another one, but Blake Daniels did get turned around momentarily, gets back to his wheels and is racing once more. Oh, making contact with Trent Dalton. Perhaps a little bit of retaliatory action here between the 2-car and the 5-car. That is very close racing indeed. Trent Dalton being a little bit reckless there, almost taking out the back of Chase Reinison. But at the front, it's Sam Mars and Regan Gum battling it out for P2 because Braden Watson has absolutely stuffed off down the road. He's way out in front here at the moment because these two guys here, the 28 and the 13, are squabbling with each other like an old married couple here at the moment. Sam goes for the big send, goes all the way to the top of the circuit, making contact with that outside wall. That'll give Regan Gum the inside run this time. Now they're side by side out of 1 and 2, and it's Slam and Sambo looking for that inside run. They both come together there as well. Slammin goes out to the outside, gets spat out the back, and Regan takes over P2. But for how long? Because Slammin is on the inside run and just sends it through. He's going to have to avoid him here. The switchback's on. Here goes Regan Gum down the inside. But I tell you what, Sam Mars has got his hands full now because Mason Watson, out of absolutely nowhere in the 42 car, has arrived on the scene. It's the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the front because Braden Watson has had his trials and tribulations in this one, but he's managed to come out on top. Here he goes into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. He will cross the line now and take that checkered flag here for the final time in the UMPs. Takes it and stacks up those points for the championship winner here. Braden Watson in the UMPs. Take a bow, son. Beautiful racing all season. Regan Gum crossing the line in P2. Sammy Mars gets P3 in the end with Bland in P4. Watson P5. Robert Daddy Rainey in P6. Lucas Hines P7. Trent Dalton P8. Then we got Reinerson in 9th. Blake Daniels in 10th. What could have been there? He just up and down like a yo-yo. Andrew Wagner in 11th position. And Brian Keane takes out the wooden spoon tonight in the first of the feature races, ladies and gentlemen. There are your official results up there on your screen now, and we're going to be back in just a moment. We're going to have a short break here on Sensational TV. My name is Chris Munro. That was the first half of the night. Now we are just hopping on the quick fire transportation Concorde here at Sensational, and we're flying over to Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're going to finish off this series in the Crate Late models for 40 laps and some heat racing over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. Go and refill your drinks, get your breakfast or lunch or wherever the hell you are in the world, because we're going to be back shortly with more racing.
Motorsport isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And when performance matters, you need gear you can trust. That's where ARD Importing comes in. ARD Importing brings world-class racing brands straight to New Zealand, supplying real racers, real teams, and real enthusiasts with proven performance products around the globe. We're talking JRP racing components, ZAMP helmets and safety gear you can rely on the track, Red Cat Racing for high-performance RC action, and intimate brake pads for serious stopping power when it counts most. Keep your engine protected with renewable lubricants, premium oils designed for extreme performance and durability. Turn up the volume with wicked audio, delivering powerful sound whenever the road or track takes you. And gear up with Spartan products built for durability, comfort, and race day durability. Whether you're racing dirt, asphalt, or chasing lap times from home, ARD Importing has you covered. Sim racers as well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen, because ARD New Zealand is your importing source for all of Camus Racing sim gear. Precision wheels, professional grade pedals, immersive feedback that puts you right in the driver's seat. Train harder, race smarter, and feel every corner. From real-world racing to the virtual grid, ardimporting.co.New Zealand connects you with elite brands trusted by racers worldwide.
And expertise in getting the best gear, Sensational TV has proudly partnered up with Speed Nation. It is New Zealand's go-to destination for high-performance sim gear. They also stock the best and biggest brands in the game, from Thrustmaster, Moser Racing, Next Level Racing, Sparko, Turtle Beach, and more. And whether you're looking for the ultra-responsive racing wheels or pro-grade flight controls, immersive audio, or rock-solid cockpits, I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has got it all. They also carry other trusted names like Butt Kicker, PT Actuators, Wheel Stand Pros, Gen Ace, Spectrum in the remote control field, and also Collective Mind. So every step and part of your setup is covered, from complete racing rigs and premium flight packs. We here at Sensational TV, back in Speed Nation, to deliver the gear that takes your experience to the next level. Fast shipping, trusted brands, unbeatable quality, and I'll tell you what, Speed Nation has it all. And as an excellent gift for all of our viewers tonight and members out there of Sensational TV, and if you're trying to get into racing, go to the checkout, buy some stuff off Speed Nation, because if you buy any full price product on the website, enter the code SIMSATIONAL, that is SIMSATIONAL. Oh my God, I can't even speak. And you will get a 10% discount off your end cart price. So go in there.
10%?
It is
10% did you say, Zachary?
I did say 10%,
Oh,
mate. I did not say
goodness.
5. I did not say 4. I said 10.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on circuit here at the Charlotte, the dirt track here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Still got about 10 minutes left of this practice session. These guys warming up in the different cars that they were just racing. These are the crate lates. We're going to leave you with the sights and the sounds. The cars out there practicing around. And we'll be back, well, I'll be back in your ears in just a moment. All right, folks, let's get down to it. Qualifying time. And Trent Dalton is the first man to set a time here. Charlotte Motor Speedway, a 15.396. Trent Dalton out in the lead. Blake Daniels joins him on the first row provisionally. But still plenty of these guys out there circulating around, getting their times in. Jacob Bland goes bang to the front with a 15.2. Dalton reclaims it with a 15.2, beats him by 4 thousandths. But Trent Dalton looking pretty good in these crate lates. Regan Gum there joining the sixth row, or third row. In the meantime, goes Watson bang as well, a 15.168. Can these guys get into the 14s? Be pretty tough because the gaps are very minuscule in a 15-second lap, I can tell you that much. 10th covers the top 5 here at the moment. Jacob Bland retaking P2. Slam Sambo in the 8. He's pretty good there in the UMPs. Let's see if he can back that form up here in the late models. Goes to the front with a 15.165 as well, so pretty quick there from Slamming Sambo. There's the Rhino looking down here in 8th position, 2.5 tenths off the pace there in the 25. He pulls it up, not happy with that performance. Lucas Hines looking for some pace tonight. He's down in 10th. He's gonna go for one more hot lap here. We're right on board with him. See it from the front view. Here he comes down through and goes up to P5. Good start from him. Robert Rainey pulls it up in P6. And Willie Cuddy not making and not putting a time down, so I think he might just be spectating. But anyway, let's kill the music because it's time for the first of the heats tonight. 2 heat races coming up because there's only 12 cars out there this time. Going to be Gum and Hines off the front, Bland and Mars off the second row. Chase Reinison and Kendall Bennett in the 1-3-2 sees the entire field there at the back. It's a bit of a different layout here at Charlotte. The straights are a little bit longer and the turns are a little bit tighter than they were at Eldora. And the track as well is not quite as wide either, so a couple of these cars sideways. That's pretty much the entirety of the width of this this dirt track. So we're going to see some action here, I've got a feeling. It's quite banked as well, so that front left tyre spends not much time in contact with the brown stuff. I'll tell you what, I do love how aggressive these cars look. Don't they just look like specimens out there? All offset because of the way they slide and look really cool, I think. And they sound awesome too. Obviously V8 engines in there, roaring around the circuit. It's good stuff. God bless the USA, as they say. Do they even... I don't even know if they race these kind of cars here in Australia. I'd have to find out. I'm not much of a dirt racing aficionado, but I do tell you what, I do love calling the action here for DSTW because the action is aplenty. And the more you do of something that you're not familiar with, the better you get at it, folks. So, let me know in the chat how I'm going. Bit different to the American callers, but we're underway. Here we go. For the first of the heats, Regan Gum out to the front and does it comfortably with the 14 of Jacob Bland going side by side with Sam Mars as well in the 8. Lucas Hines on the top row there, just getting shuffled back. Sam Mars still having some connection issues and this time getting spat out the back. This is, well, we thought that was going to happen in the first race. Not so much this time. What about the big slide in there from Chase Reinison in the 25, making contact with Lucas Hines as well. Door-to-door action here as they all come around for the 10th time. Now it's 10 laps to go, 9 laps to go here at Charlotte Speedway. It's Regan Gum out in front. Jacob Bland looking pacey as well, just chasing him down, looking for that inside run, but it's covered off by the 10 car. Here comes Lucas Hines, looking a bit better than he did in the UMPs this time as well. Just holding steady on that low line, looking for an opportunity. Back in the field, though, it's Reinerson and Kendall Bennett just bouncing off each other there through turns 1 and 2. And now it's Reinerson that takes over that position. So at the front, it's Regan Gum now really under pressure from Jacob Bland right up underneath the bodywork of this Crate Lake model. Now he's going to have a look down into turn 3 and 4. This is where it could happen, folks. They go side by side, battle for the lead, contact as well, pushes him off into the wall, but just gets out of it and says, no, you know what, that might not have been fair. You go ahead, the gumball machine, and you will take over P1. Jacob Bland now just sitting his sights with 5 laps to go, enough time to make up that gap and attempt another overtake, but it seems to be hard going at this circuit to get that overtake done cleanly. This time he's going to try it, or gets out of the throttle again this time, because Regan Gum slamming the door shut down there into turns 1 and 2. But because of that, Bland has just been shuffled back a little bit into the lap of the 17 of Lucas Hines. So Hines poised to attack, but he's not quite close enough this time around. It's actually Bland that's picked up his pace, and he will have another little crack or a little dip at the front. And as soon as I say that, he's dropped down, and now it's going to be Lucas Hines to have a little crack up the inside. Big time. He goes from third to first, making contact with Regan Gum there in P1, and that will let Jacob Bland up underneath, and he makes contact with Regan Gum, so he's dropped from first down to fourth in the space of 2 turns, and Jacob Bland takes over the lead of this race, and what a perfect time to do so. Here comes Lucas Hines now sliding up the inside. Now they leapfrog it on the final lap of the race. Who's going to get this job done? Regan Gum off the circuit takes out Bland, and that will be Lucas Hines that takes P1 at the very death. Chase Reinerson in P2, Jacob Bland P3 after getting taken out from Regan Gum. Kendall Bennett will cross the line in P4. Regan Gum, whoa, you're going to get a yellow card for that one. Wowee. Well, that was action-packed. Folks, I've never seen that. Regan Gum just crossing the infield and taking out Jacob Bland. I don't even think it was his fault, really, what happened earlier on, but obviously the gumball machine not happy with the proceedings. Anyway, Heat 2 is upon us. We got Blake Daniels off the inside, Robert Daddy Rainey up the top. Trent Dalton in the 2, looked pretty good in qualifying. On his outside is the championship winner in Watson. I think the points are too much out in front there as well. Then we got Mason Watson and Wagner at the back. Seems a little bit hard to overtake here. It's not quite as banked as what I thought. So these cars do slide out a little bit on the entry and exit of these turns. So it's pretty hard to keep your pace up if you're taking these alternating lines. We saw a little bit of leapfrogging there in that last one, but that was promptly put to an end with the wrecking up the front. So good luck to those guys. Having fun with it. Pace car is off now. The field is under control of the 5, and he will go once we get out of turns 3 and 4 here. Here we go, green light racing. Trent Dalton actually caught him napping there, and he's going to muscle his way up on the inside. Contact now between the 5 and the 2. They are battling hard. Here comes the 2 Watsons up underneath them as well. Braden just copping a little bit of a shove there from the 2 car. That's Trent Dalton just cutting across the nose, and they will switch it up there in the front. It's Blake Daniels looking for the low run now this time. Trent Dalton on his outside. The 12 coming from nowhere. Robert Rainey, big dive up the inside. That results in a slingshot action, and he goes out to the top of the line. On out to P4 here at the moment as well. Braden Watson looking up the inside, looking feisty indeed, but it's feisty at the front. I'll tell you what, Blake Daniels has finally got to the front of the pack. Trent Dalton now battling it out with Robert Rainey, who slung that thing up the inside like an absolute, I don't know, something that slings things. David and Goliath, he had one of those, didn't he? Here we go, Blake Daniels in the front. Trent Dalton down the bottom. Up the top is Robert Rainey there in P3. Braden Watson P4. Not quite on the pace today, but still 7 laps to go in this one. Andrew Wagner and Mason round out the top 6 here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Blake Daniels out in front by a nice little margin as well. And a little battle forming here as well. If Robert Rainey can just get onto the back of Trent Dalton here, there might be something to be had of this little exchange here. But Trent Dalton looking fast today, and that was a very cheeky start from him as well, pushing up the inside there of Blake Daniels, but just getting muscled out in the end, goes to P2. 4 laps to go now. Blake Daniels still leads, Dalton still second. Robert Rainey now trying to just get on the back of him here to launch some kind of attack. He was close enough that time, just thought better of it. Now he's going to try to ride that sort of top line as maybe a car's width above it. Goes for that big slide up the inside run. We saw him do that a few laps prior. Now he's almost made contact with the 2 as they come into turns 3 and 4 as well for the 6th time. Here they come now, and it's Dalton just still holding out Robert Rainey for the title. Here he goes now. Robert Rainey slotting up into the lap and maybe making contact there with the 2. Definitely Watson making contact with the 2, and he goes off into the infield and slams into the outside fence, and that is the final lap, ladies and gentlemen. Watson's going to come last, but Daniels will take the P1 checkered flag here with a bit of kerfufflery happening behind, but that is Daniels taking P1 here in the second of the heats. P2 goes to Robert Rainey. Trent Dalton P3, Wagner, Mason and Braden of the Watsons heading it up. P6. That was quite the go back and have a quick look at that. Actually, we've got the replay there. It was Trent Dalton just waggling the tail after making contact with Robert Rainey, and that's pushed Watson off to the infield, and wowee, what a spectacular crash there from the 93, and he goes straight back to the pits as the sun sets here in Charlotte, and the warm-up is underway for the last of the feature races here in the Crate Late model. So it brings a tear to my eye here, folks. It's the last time I'm going to be calling this one until DSTW start another round, which I'm sure would be happy to call the action if they'll have us. Let us know in the chat if we've done a good job here. Sensational TV all the way from Australia. But the guys are out there for a little warm-up session, so you know what that means, folks. It's time to kick your feet up and or put the feet to the floor and march yourself to the fridge and get yourself some more snacks, because the action will be back in just a moment here at Charlotte Speedway for Sensational TV. My name is Chris Munro. I'll be back in just a moment. Motorsport isn't just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. And when performance matters, you need gear you can trust. That's where ARD Importing comes in. ARD Importing brings world-class racing brands straight to New Zealand, supplying real racers, real teams and real enthusiasts with proven performance products around the globe. We're talking JRP racing components, Zamp helmets and safety gear you can rely on the track, Red Cat Racing for high-performance RC action and intimate brake pads for serious stopping power when it counts most. Keep your engine protected with renewable lubricants, premium oils designed for extreme performance and durability. Turn up the volume with Wicked Audio, delivering powerful sound whenever the road or track takes you. And gear up with Spartan products built for durability, comfort and race day durability. Whether you're racing dirt, at asphalt or chasing lap times from home, ARD Importing has you covered. Sim racers as well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen, because ARD New Zealand is your importing source for all of Camus Racing sim gear. Precision wheels, professional grade pedals, immersive feedback that puts you right in the driver's seat. Train harder, race smarter and feel every corner. From real-world racing to the virtual grid, ardimporting.co.New Zealand connects you with elite brands trusted by racers worldwide. Back on circuit, ladies and gentlemen, and they are gridding up. Let's have a look at how they sit. Lucas Hines with the fastest time. He will start off P1 with Blake Daniels sitting outside of him. The two blue cars at the front, Chase Reinerson and Robert Rainey off the second row with Jacob Bland, Trent Dalton behind them. Kendall Bennett, Andrew Wagner in P8 with Regan Gum and Mason Watson, followed by Sam Mars and Braden Watson at the very back. So that's going to be an interesting start, folks, with a couple of the speedy guys at the very back. We'll see if they can make their way through the pack cleanly enough. Wowee, these cars look good under lights, do they not? Ladies and gentlemen, chuck us a like and subscribe on the channel. If you're watching on Facebook, do us a favour and go and chuck us a sub on YouTube. That's where we gain most of our ad revenue from, so help us out here on the channel. It's a quick couple of clicks for you. You're watching in Facebook land. It helps us out in the long run here, bringing the action to as many eyeballs as possible around the world. International now at Sensational TV. But your support is muchly appreciated here. So the guys are just absolutely nailing each other here in the formation laps. Flying around, beautiful stuff. Let's get a better view. I think maybe that's a good one, or that one. Yeah, let's go wide here for the first little stanza here. The safety car's off the track and we are poised for a start. Hines on the inside, Blake Daniels on the outside. Who's going to get the whole shot? Who's going to go first? Here they go. It's Hines, goes bang, and he goes straight to the lead. Blake Daniels with a big gap there behind him. It's going to be Robert Rainey around the outside with Chase Reinerson up the inside. Beautiful racing there as well. In the back, it's Trent Dalton, Jacob Bland, and Regan Gum side by side. We just saw three wide there for just a moment, and that's poor old Regan Gum and Bland getting splat out the back as well. So tight racing down the back there as well. Could have been disaster. Lucas Hines in the lead. We got Blake Daniels in second, being chased down at the moment with Chase Reinerson right on his rear bumper. A nice little gap back to Rainey. Then behind them, it's Regan Gum just gathering it up after a little incident there off the start. Then it's Mason Watson, Mr. Senior there in the 42. Then it's the two of Trent Dalton back there with Andrew Wagner in the 6, just wagging the tail on the inside. Jacob Bland, after being spat out with that three wide moment, is right back there. And Sam Mars and Kendall Bennett have failed to start the race. So 10 cars in the running here at the moment as they go into turns 1 and 2 here. And Blake Daniels is under pressure from Robert Rainey there behind. He's looking pretty good here at the moment, looking for that switch back. Got the momentum too. He's going to send it up down now into turns 3 and 4, and Robert Rainey takes over that position. Beautiful racing there from him. It's going to be argued around the outside. Blake Daniels looking to send it up and gets that job. Well, it's a bit of a switchback there as well. So looking at the front, the battle's on as well, because Lucas Hines is starting to become a bit of an under pressure moment from Chase Reinerson right up behind him. But here is the battle. It's Regan Gum looking up the inside of Blake Daniels with Robert Rainey not too far in front of them. So a nice little three-way battle happening right here in front of our eyes. Whoa, who was that up the inside? It's Watson out of nowhere looking for that big inside run. Slides it right out into the lap of the 10. He does well to avoid him, and they go side by side again down through 1 and 2. But it's Trent Dalton now with the run. He's going to be looking up the inside of Regan Gum here and gets that job done. Little bit of argy-bargy, a little bit of paint swapping, but that's what we come to get used to here in the dirt racing world, is absolutely elbows out, and I'm all here for it. At the front, it's on, because here comes Chase Reinerson right up beside Lucas Hines. They go side by side through 3 and 4 now into 1 and 2, and it's Hines has the run here at the moment, but Reinerson probably has the pace, just looking for a way through. Goes for that early dive down into 3 and 4, big slide out wide. That'll let Hines up the inside. It's the old switcheroo, ladies and gentlemen, and they're going to start playing a bit of leapfrog here as well as they go back underneath his Chase Reinerson now into 3 and 4, and it's Hines' turn to look for that switchback, but he just can't get the power down. So Chase Reinerson now has completed the overtake into P1 and looking to extend that gap indeed. Back here, it's Braden Watson on the attack, though. Looks up the inside of Blake Daniels. Daniels saw him coming and just took that wide berth as he goes all the way around the outside. Trailer Park Girls style, as we say here at Sensational TV. But Braden Watson now has the pace. Looking for that switchback is the 5 car. Gets that job done. Now he slides up into P5. It's Braden Watson giving the pressure out here at the moment as he started at the very back. So he's up a number of positions, 7 to be in fact, from where he started. So expect him to be right there in the finish. But he goes up the inside now, and Blake Daniels just has to yield, but he looks for that inside run on the exit, gets it done as well. So these guys squabbling around, playing a bit of that leapfrog action that we love to see. So as they do that, it's Robert Rainey up the front, just dipping up the inside of Hines as well. So just seeing what's happening in his rear view mirror, and I think, you know what, I want to do a bit of that as well. Not too sure if these cars have rear view mirrors, but hopefully they probably do have virtual mirrors, but in the real world you don't need friggin' mirrors, do you? Just send it and hope for the best. Here goes Hines, sending it and hoping for the best. Robert Rainey now on his three-quarter panel there on the back, and he goes through once more time into turns 1 and 2. Gets it a little bit wrong there, and here comes Daniels. He's going to make it 3 wide through this turns 3 and 4. They all shuffle with each other. It's poor old Hines just getting squeezed to the back, and Robert Rainey and Hines come together. They go through to the infield, and that will be a caution here, folks, with 23 laps to go. Whoa. Let's have a quick look at that replay, folks. You can see it was when Daniels just made it 3 wide, sliding out into the lap of the 12, and in turn he pushes the 17 into the wall, and they both get tangled up, losing wheels, losing body parts. And they get back out onto the circuit. Chase Reinerson, the Rhino, in the lead now. Blake Daniels on his outside. Braden Watson's made his way up to P3 somehow. With all that, with all that incidents in front of him. English is not my strong suit, ladies and gentlemen. Regan Gum on his outside there in the 10. Behind him, Mason Watson. Trent Dalton underneath. Then it's Rainey, Bland, Andrew Wagner, and poor old Lucas Hines at the very back. We'll line up after that. Big old wreck. We're going to go racing once more as the pace car comes off, and Rhino sets the pace. He goes out to an early lead. It's going to be Watson and Daniels battling it out here for P2. Actually, Watson almost making contact with the 25 car as they come down the back straight this time. And it's Dalton looking up the inside, making contact with Regan Gum there in the background. And Regan now giving them the hurry up through on that low line. This is exciting stuff. Blake Daniels just avoiding them on that high line too. Here goes Watson as well, looking up the inside of Chase Reinerson for the lead, but it's Chase that gets the switchback, and these two will battle it out now with the company of Blake Daniels there in that 5 car as well. So this time it's Watson looking for the switchback, but he can't get it done, with Reinerson just sending it fat around the outside. Beautiful car control there from all 3 of these front guys as they are starting to gap the field big time. But the battle is on, you got to say it. 19 laps to go here, folks. Only 1 caution. That's what you get with a smaller field. Here goes Watson now looking for the lead. Gets up the inside of Reinerson. He saw him coming, and it will be the old switcheroo this time. Now down into turns 1 and 2. It's Watson and Daniels taking the high line. Chase just sliding through on the inside. Goes wide on the exit, and Watson takes over control this time. I don't think Reinerson's going to be close enough to get that switchback happening, and it is. It's Watson takes the lead and consolidates that overtake. But this time it's Reinerson trying his hardest. Not quite close enough, but a big mistake there, and that will let Blake Daniels through, and he will take P2 momentarily as now these guys start to line up and do the leapfrog action But I think Reinerson just going backwards here at the moment. So Blake Daniels taking over P2 outright here and looking pretty pacey. But down the back, they are battling as hard as ever. It's Regan Gum and Jacob Bland on his outside. Regan just making contact on the exit there of 3 and 4 as they go into 1 and 2 this time. And it's Regan Gum holding control here for some moment of time as Jacob Bland having some connection issues as well. He dives it up the inside of 3 and 4 this time. But Regan Gum looking for that switchback move. A little bit of contact too. It's taking the low line this time. Very low indeed. Almost striking the inside barriers there as well. But it's going to be Jacob Bland to return serve up into 3 and 4. This time holding that sort of middle line on the exit, which is going to make it pretty tough for Regan to get this job done if he can. But he does. They switcheroo. And Regan Gum now just trying his hardest. But we've got another caution out on the track. Who was it this time? Ladies and gentlemen, is it Andrew Wagner? Andrew Wagner has crashed. Here he is in the 6 car. Let's see what happens to him here. He goes on the inside. Yeah, he's just turned in way too early, making contact with that tyre bundle there on the inside. Ends up facing the wrong way. So we got ourselves the second caution of the night. We're well over halfway through the race. It's Quick Draw McGraw. I tell you what, it says the Winter Series up the top, but it's anything but winter here in the sensational commentary box. I am sweating it out. That's it. Really get the aircon on, but it might be too late because we are going to be racing again. And it's going to be over in the blink of an eye, ladies and gentlemen. 28 laps through. These guys can stay out of each other. It might be a very short run to the line. Braden Watson has control of the field, and we are green light racing now till the end, possibly 12 laps to go. Watson right in the high line, but Chase Reinerson is going to try and attack straight away. Not close enough, but Daniels is certainly close enough to the 25. He goes for the outside run here as well, and Trent Dalton chiming in from behind. Mason Watson now going to try and make it too wide, taking that low line and spraying himself up the track, but beautiful car control there, not to just sling shot into the 25 and the 2. Here comes Dalton up the inside there of Chase Reinerson. Beautiful racing there from him, but Rhino's going to return serve down into turns 1 and 2. Big slide on the exit, and that will leave the door open for the 2 car and possibly the 42 as well, as Reinerson just gets shuffled out towards the back of the field here at the moment. It is Braden Watson still leading this race, and by a little bit of a margin to Blake Daniels. Chase Reinerson and Trent Dalton on our screens at the moment, battling it out hard, and Mason Watson and Jacob Bland now are well and truly involved in this little scuffle here for 3rd position. It is absolutely happening here, and here goes Chase Reinerson now looking up the inside for that slow line, low line should I say, is anything but slow on the exit, and that's what leaves the door open for Mason and Jacob Bland now having a dip. Here comes Robert Rainey on the scene. I'll tell you what, Chase Reinerson struggling just a little bit, needs to find some sort of rhythm here where he can hold off these guys from the attacks, but from the air it is absolutely all happening at the front. You can see it's Mason Watson who has got through on this little group. Chase Reinerson there on our screens in P5, and then a little gap to Bland and no, that's Robert Rainey there sliding out into his lap in the 12 car. And Regan Gum joining the scene too now. As all these guys start to battle, it just brings in the guys from behind as well, because it just takes a couple of tenths out of your pace each time you go up the inside, go for a big wide line sort of thing. Oh, that's Chastain style there in the 10, just wall riding around 1 and 2. Beautiful stuff. But tell you what, let's go to the front because it's getting pretty tasty up there. It's Braden Watson now holding court over Blake Daniels, who's almost close enough to start to have a think about having a little bit of a dip. And a massive gap back to Trent Dalton there in 3rd position. You can see the gap there on your screens, folks. 1 and 2 out in front. Trent Dalton in no man's land. Following him is Chase Reinerson, who has been able to get on top of his competitors there in that little four-way tussle between Watson, Rainey, Bland as well. Regan Gum back there in 8th position. Lucas Hines and Andrew Wagner round out your field, and it seems the whole field now taking a look at that high line. Braden Watson is opting to go just for like a car's width down on the inside. But it is the final lap, ladies and gentlemen, of the DSTW Winter Series here in the late models. And it's going to be Braden Watson unless Daniels can do something about it here on the final turn. It's going to be very close, ladies and gentlemen. But it's Watson takes the checkered flag, takes the championship as well. Beautiful racing from Braden Watson. He goes down into the record books as the championship winner here for the Winter Series here at DSTW. Blake Daniels takes P2. Brett Dalton takes P3. Reinerson, Watson, Rainey, Bland, Gum, Hines, Wagner, Bennett and Mars didn't start. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is done and won. Here he is, celebrating in style in the 93 car. That absolutely unmistakable livery combination of colours there as well. Ugly as a hat full of assholes, but it is standing out on the circuit, not only in looks, but in pace as well. Ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end. Brings us to the end of the DSTW Racing League Winter Series. And tell you what, I thank everyone for tuning in here on the Monday. Bradley Cairns keeping him occupied at work on a Monday morning. Who else chimed in today? Zach O'Reilly watching at work as well. The perfect work companion here, Sensational TV, ladies and gentlemen. Plus all the crew watching on Facebook as well from the US of A. Been my pleasure to call all the action. It's time to say goodbye for the last time here in the Winter Series. We are Sensational TV. My name is Chris Munro, and we hope to see you soon in some more dirt racing action. But until then, take care of yourselves and stay out of each other.
Sensational TV YouTube channel. Don't fucking miss it.